Okay, so deep in the Amazon rainforest, explorers have just made a discovery that sounds like something straight out of a legend. We're talking about a new species of giant snake that's been hiding in plain sight for millions of years. So let's dive right in. Picture this. You're in one of the most extreme environments on Earth, and you come across a massive 440-pound snake just chilling in the mud, completely confident in its camouflage. And for millions of years, yeah, that camouflage worked perfectly.
And look, while the sheer size of it was absolutely breathtaking, the real shocker came when scientists got a closer look. The most incredible part of this story wasn't what you could see. It was what was hidden deep inside its DNA.
So here she is. She was found during a National Geographic expedition, and it was the local Warreni guides who led the team deep into this remote area. They kept insisting that this was where the real giants lived. And let me tell you, they were not exaggerating. They named her Anna Julia. Let this sink in for a second. 440 pounds. That's about the same as a fully grown grizzly bear. So to be clear, we're not just talking about a big snake here, we're talking about an apex predator with some serious mass. So you're probably wondering, how does something that big even hunt? Well, at nearly 21 feet long with a body wider than a person's waist, she is a master of the ambush. Her eyes and nostrils are right on top of her head, so she can be almost completely underwater and still see what's going on. And get this, she can actually close her nostrils like valves and just wait underwater for up to 20 minutes for that perfect moment to strike. But this is where a huge snake becomes a huge scientific discovery. Because on the outside, she looked exactly like the famous green anaconda we all know. Genetically, though, she was something else entirely. You know, it's this fascinating thing scientists call a cryptic species. It's when two animals look like identical twins, but on a genetic level, they're total strangers. And that's exactly what was going on here. For millions of years, this entirely separate species of anaconda was just hiding right out in the open, misidentified. I mean, talk about the ultimate evolutionary disguise, right? It's like looking so much like your cousin that for millions of years, nobody even realized you were a completely different animal. Now, to really understand just how huge this is, look at this comparison. You and I were only about 1% genetically different from chimpanzees, our closest relatives. Anna Julia and the green anaconda, they differ by a whopping 5.5%. That is a massive genetic gap, more than 5 times the difference between us and chimps. They aren't just different species, they're distant relatives, at best.
So, all of this makes you wonder, right? Anna Julia is a monster by today's standards, for sure. But how does she stack up against the titans of the past? I mean, is she even in the same league as the biggest snake that ever lived?
The answer? Oh, it's not even close. Not by a long shot. To find the true king of snakes, we've got to go way back, about 60 million years, to a monster that makes today's anacondas look like little garden snakes. I'm talking about the Titanoboa.
And just to clear something up about the timeline, I know you're picturing it, but Titanoboa lived millions of years after the big dinosaurs like T-Rex were wiped out. So as epic as that fight would have been, it never happened. This thing was the undisputed king of its own era. Wow. Just look at these numbers. The difference in scale is just staggering. Anna Julia is impressive at 21 feet and 440 pounds, no doubt. But Titanoboa, we're talking up to 50 feet long, weighing 2,500 pounds. That's over a ton, with a body almost 3 feet thick. That's not a snake. That's basically a living, breathing locomotive. And you know, these giant serpents weren't just slithering around on land. Oh no. The ancient oceans had their very own colossal snakes. Take the ancient paleophis, for instance. This thing could grow up to 40 feet long and it hunted sharks. But its modern relatives, they went a different evolutionary route. They're way smaller, but they traded all that size for some of the most potent venom on the planet. We're talking sometimes 100 times more toxic than a cobra's. This all brings us right back to today. The discovery of Anna Julia's species is proof that even now in 2024, the Amazon is holding on to some profound secrets. I mean, if a snake this large can go completely undiscovered for so long, what else is out there? Just let your imagination run wild for a second. The Amazon is already home to these legendary dangerous creatures, right? The Brazilian wandering spider, the Bushmaster pit viper. What if they have cryptic cousins too? Larger or faster or even more venomous relatives that we just haven't been able to tell apart yet. Maybe there's a whole new species of caiman just lurking in those waters. And if that doesn't give you chills, try this one for size. The Waharani guides, the ones who led the team to Ana Julia, they weren't even that surprised by how big she was. In fact, they claim they've seen even bigger ones, snakes reaching up to 25 feet long. So, in the end, this discovery isn't just about one giant snake. It's a huge reminder that our planet is still packed with mysteries. I mean, seriously, if a creature this massive can go completely unnoticed by science for millions of years, it just makes you wonder what other secrets are the wild places of the world still keeping from us.